mention even, I've watched horror stories of the same person picking up child after child after child, using different names and different addresses. One of the addresses was a strip club. One of the addresses was a parking lot. One of the addresses was an empty lot that was filled with shipping containers. And this character was getting all these kids. One person got 42 kids to one address. What we're doing now is DNA testing on every sponsor. We're doing personal identification. We're doing background checks, and we're doing income verification.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much to the very talented person who put that together. That was really amazing. And, you can tell that people are starting to get very sick and tired of what's going on, right? Of what's going on, the cover up. That's what they're sick and tired of, is the cover up that has allowed this to grow so out of hand, that we have the murder of a national hero, a U.S. Army soldier, that we have hundreds of thousands of children being trafficked through our military installation, Fort Bliss, on the taxpayer dime. And then, and then you have the Walmart mass shooting that is absolutely connected to Fort Bliss, absolutely connected to the whistleblowing of Richard Halliday, our son, and his murder and the cover up, right? These are all connected together. And, what do you have? You have very clear evidence over and over again that all the agencies that are there to protect for public safety um, are duds, are absolute duds. And I think we need our money back, right? I think we need our money back, because these duds have now compromised themselves. And Conal Whetten is another big example. He's a very big example, because he's an assistant agent in charge in the FBI uh, office, and he's a Mormon. And remember, from the very beginning, it's not like I'm picking on Mormons. I'm not picking on Mormons. From the very beginning, I said, oh my gosh, this is really strange. This is really strange. For years, I've been saying this, that a common denominator in this is that many suspects in this, including the prime suspects, are Mormon. And to see that Conal Whetten, the Mormon assistant agent in charge in the FBI field office in El Paso, is the one that gave VIP treatment to criminal Mormons, like they could act with impunity and he could just cover it up. And they're connected to Dreams Cabaret, that is connected to the state trooper, Patrick Brookshire, and his family, the Maya, I hope I say that name right, and the Fongs that own it. But it, and that is a known hub, but El Paso is a known uh, trafficking epicenter, right? Criminal trafficking epicenter. So you would think that the FBI would put their best at the El Paso field office and make their best of their best the assistant agent in charge, right? But no, we have a dud that gives VIP treatment to his fellow Mormons that are criminals, which makes him a criminal, right? He is a criminal because you have what is the result? Hundreds of children that have been trafficked through a military installation on taxpayers' dime that are now mostly dead. And you heard it from JFK Jr. that that they uh, that they were dropping off what he said 42 children, um, that one person would get 42 children, and then they would drop them off at a strip club, a vacant lot, you know. And here you have Dreams Cabaret. And how many red flags does an assistant agent in charge need when you have a strip joint with a vacant lot beside it, with tactical move storage units, or what you would call shipping units, shipping containers, and then you have the Texas Department of Transportation right next to it, and then you have the Socorro ISD property right there that has to do with children, and then you have the FedEx freight right there. uh, how many red flags do you need? Because all of those areas, right, all of those areas have tons of cameras. And one stripper came on, find Richard Halliday, and said, look, lady, they have so many cameras. You're right, they have so many cameras. But when you have an FBI agent in charge, giving you VIP treatment to be criminals, to operate with impunity, and it's not just him, there's others, right? Then you can have all the cameras you want, taking pictures of all kinds of things, and you can still do your criminal trafficking um, a- activities. And this is, and just, laugh. And this is why he's such a dud. Why, we should get our money back. We should absolutely get our money back. And gather together and ask for our money back, because we are not getting honest services, which is a crime to be deceived like this with all of our agencies, and then charge us taxpayer money, our hardworking money, and then not give us the service that we're paying them to give us, because absolutely the evidence, not me at all. Take me out of this. Just look at the evidence that we have presented. Oh, and yes, of course, you're going to see our name because it'll say, oh, who exposed of my Yella family being all over this Walmart mass shooting? And they're the Patrick Crucius's family. And weren't we told that Patrick Crucius didn't know anyone in Walmart, that it was just random? Who exposed that? Oh, it was the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday that exposed that. Oh, okay. What about the judges on the El Paso Criminal Law Magistrate Court? Um, who exposed that? Those are all frauds. They're supposed to be elected, but none of them are elected. And according to the Constitution, they're all frauds. They're all rogue. They've just botched every case. They're criminal. They're criminal because they're imposters. They are impersonating a judge, and they're not, because they're not elected as the Texas Constitution requires. And that position needed to be elected since 2015, because it got full jurisdiction. And a court with that kind of power, full jurisdiction, must have elected judges. The people must choose them. And that's not the case. So they are impersonating judges. Who broke that story? Oh, it's the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday, the national hero. Oh, what about the rogue, the illegitimate DA's office? We don't have a DA, an active DA in the that is legitimate in the El Paso 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office. The prosecutor's office is broken because Montoya, if that's his name, used the fake 2028 stamp. He didn't sign the anti-bribery statement of officer in a timely manner before he took the oath of office, which voids his oath of office according to the Texas Constitution. I thought they're supposed to be defending the Texas Constitution, prosecuting the criminals that go against the laws of the land. But they themselves are broken. And the same thing with Bill Hicks. We haven't had a legitimate DA in that office since Yvonne Rosales. She's the holdover prosecutor. She's still the legitimate DA, holdover DA. Who broke that story? Oh, yeah, it was the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday, the national hero, the whistleblower, who was murdered for reporting the criminal trafficking and that the cartels were in on this and the Fort Bliss was in on the Walmart mass shooting. Oh yeah, that family. Oh my gosh. Who broke the story with this Patrick Brookshire, bullying them because the DPS top cop, Jose Sanchez, the district director, right, is on his duty time with his duty vehicle, taxpayer vehicle, with his whole garb on, right? Don't they pack? Don't they pack? But he's too busy doing frisky business, going up the dress of some kind of cartel chauffeur. I mean, she has like a fleet of vehicles. Just about half of them are DV plates, disability veteran plates, to give quick parking, and doesn't have to worry about paying for parking or anything like that. I mean, all these little benefits. And she has a fleet of vehicles, about $1 million, and that's not including all the insurance and storage that she would have to pay for all these vehicles. I mean, it's huge amounts of money, but yet she's a real estate agent that sells house for about an average of $100,000. I don't think that those equal out too much, right? I don't think a Lamborghini Hurricane, whatever, is equal to, a real estate agent that sells a house for, 5% of $100,000. Um, and still has overhead. Thank you, Laura, so much. We can't hear. Oh, thank you. Now we can. Thank you so much. Your team is awesome. Thank you so much. It is. We are getting, information and intelligence. We're the ones exposing all of this. Can you imagine the federal courthouse is related to Patrick Crucius, Michael Mayella, the manager of the federal courthouse? And then what about Chavira and A&R Chavira Auto Group and their targeting of Richard with a car? Richard had told us he wasn't going to get a car because he applied to leave. He wanted to leave. He asked for a transfer. He asked to be deployed again because it was so bad there. So, and they denied him. They denied. And so, this A&R Chavira Auto Group that functioned illegally, right? Um, is related to Manny Chavira, of the chief of police of the El Paso ISD, which schools in the El Paso ISD have tunnels underneath. Who exposed all that? Oh, it's the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday, right? And of course, Delia Briones, she's a big one, y'all. She's very, very big because she's the one that stamps. She's the one that seals. She's the one that gives the appearance of legitimacy, even though she messed up with Montoya with the 2028 stamp. But, all of this funeral business, who exposed that? Oh, yeah, it was the Gold Star family of Richard Halliday, that they're trafficking corpses from funeral home to funeral home across the border. And then they lie to the families while they're doing that and say, oh, here's your loved one's ashes in an urn, while they're they're trafficking the body, and then letting them stay in plenitude crematorium, left to rot for years and years. Um, and yes, you heard me right. Collecting on unidentified migrant humanitarian aid. See, this is how evil these people are. They don't even respect humanitarian aid. They don't respect our taxes. They don't respect our soldiers. They don't respect our military installation. They don't respect they just don't respect our children. They don't respect anything. They are all evil for themselves, very, very greedy. And the thing is it makes them totally miserable because, believe you me, a lot of these people, as greedy as they are, they've all, almost all of them, have declared bankruptcy. They've all have major problems that they've laid out in court, like Leilani Hart's affidavit that she notarized, that implicates her and her family in facilitating and engaging in the worst type of crimes against children, being in possession of the films of the worst type of crimes against children, illegal weapons purchases, her family, men being engaged in the worst type of crimes against each other. That is absolutely illegal for Dallas Hart to do that while he's in uniform. You can't just do whatever you want in your bedroom. You can't just do whatever you want in your bedroom. And anyone that says that, oh, in my privacy of my bedroom, I can do whatever I want. No, you can't. You cannot, because that all overflows into other criminal activity that hurts people, that hurts our society. There's a reason for saying that you can't do those things to your brother, that your father can't do those things to you, and whatever and however. But that's all in the affidavit. And you can't do that to a 7-year-old, right? You can't engage in the worst type of crimes against a 7-year-old in Leilani Hart's master bedroom. You can't do that, right? So those are illegal, and I think we have seen what, just looking the other way, what that has done to the family, what that has done to children, what that has done to our society, and it has exploded the crimes against children and the crimes against women and crimes against the family, and which leads to anyone that whistleblows that doesn't like it, and that ends up in murder, like what happened to Richard. And then the cover up is, the dismemberment and all of that. So and then they sell off the body parts and try to cash in. I mean, their evil is never satisfied. It's never satisfied, and one leads to the other. And we exposed the Plenitude Crematorium, the owner having his house right next to Beto O'Rourke. Like, Beto O'Rourke doesn't know that. Of course he knows that. And he's up to no good. And so is Veronica Escobar. And they are in the hands of Woody Hunt. Woody Hunt is there, like Soros funds a lot of things like the DAs and all that. Well, Woody Hunt funds a lot of things too. And he's looking pretty evil. He's looking pretty evil in all of our evidence. And here he is, a billionaire that's not satisfied, that has to leave a legacy of pure evil. And that's what he's doing. He's leaving a legacy of pure evil. So this is what's going on, and of course, his inside man is Conal Whetten. Conal Whetten in the FBI, controlling that office and these cases and letting them operate with impunity so you can get another million or another billion or another contract, military contract or whatever, and cover up the crimes that you are exploiting and committing, so that you can, I guess, ruin the country, make them so low that you can just use and abuse them the way you want. It's like beating your wife or something. You just beat them so that you can control them, right? And El Paso has been getting a terrible violence, and in Juarez also, which this goes over to Juarez because there's two Mormon temples, one in Colonial Juarez and one right there in Juarez. And they were bragging to me that they, got their passes and they could go over there during the whole lockdown and everything like that, that they had freedom, when others didn't. Um, it's like, really, really? Um, yeah, we're essential. Yeah, we're essential. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, like other people are not essential. Everybody's essential. Me going in and taking care of my father in a hospital is essential. Um, uh, you know, they were just so crazy and so evil during that time, and even now, because look at what, if it wasn't for the Trump effect, if it wasn't for President Trump, um, you would not have the accountability coming like it is, right? The accountability is just like a big cold spell on an iceberg. It's just freezing over, and it's encompassing um, the El Paso and Juarez area, and it's coming from Scheinbaum because Scheinbaum's feeling the Trump effect. And so that's why you had these police all be, well, they weren't even police. They were impersonating police because their licenses were let to expire and the weapons that they had were cartel weapons. And, and that was all shut down, right? And a total police force was in the hands of the cartel. Okay. And the article was saying all of them are like this. And so, you really see a lot of exposure in Juarez that you would never see before. And that means the accountability has begun, is absolutely a force, a force right now. It's really a declaration of war against the cartels, against the FTOs. So it's huge news, but please put together the Mormon aspect of this, and not in any kind of, it's just, in any investigation, you have to tell what the common denominators are. And the common denominators are, it seems, Mormon, that they're disabled veterans, right? They all seem to have been paid off with these huge disabled veteran benefits. um, and with Daniela Nergari, the DV license plate, it's not to put on luxury vehicles, a whole fleet of them. That's stolen valor, I think. I think that is just fraud. But we'll see. We'll see if that's the determination. Um, and we have to keep uh, absolutely keep this going for the safety of El Pasoans and reaching over to Juarez. I remember when I went over there many, many times, like 3 dozen times when I was there, um, they were just crying on me. I remember a person giving me a cross, and about 30 minutes later, another family member came up and was crying on me, and I gave her the cross that was just given to me to pray with her and said, take it for some comfort, right? Take it for some comfort because this is just. It's just too much. It's just too much. They've just put us through too much, and accountability must happen, and not accountability like a slap on the hand. We're talking about the death penalty. We're talking that these crimes are so egregious, and this is what I was saying about the 2 letters that we received from President Trump. The first letter was about that, about the accountability that he's seeking the death penalty, and that is a great comfort to us because these crimes are so egregious. What Plenitude Crematorium has done that is connected to mortuary operations of Fort Bliss, what they have done, the trafficking of children, so many of them, um, just all the fraud. Uh, it's just such a huge security breach what they've done that it's treasonous. It's uh, from our generals, absolutely. But then you have the likes of Conal Whetten, who also had power to really investigate and make El Paso a safe place, right? To really restrain the evil, and what he's doing is giving VIP treatment to the criminals, and so the Mormon criminals. Um, so this is huge breaking news, and we wanted to share that with you, and we wanted to tell everyone thank you so much for sticking with us for so many years. And it seems things are really exploding in all of this. People are starting to understand what we have exposed and starting to put the pieces together, and that is and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it, and that means that we are a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and that's why they spend so much money to get our vote, but we don't always realize how powerful that is, that we do have the power amongst us to move the justice in our favor, to move accountability in our favor. And so, thank you for being a government of the people, by the people, for the people, supporting us and sharing all of this information. And there's so much more, right, that we've exposed. And every time you do, you're bringing accountability and safety to El Paso and Juarez, and also protecting the front door of the United States of America, which is El Paso, the port entry into the United States. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I will be back tomorrow, God willing.